Alright, this is kind of funny now. This is like the fourth intro that I've shot in a row, but I'm doing a lot of work on my bike today. And I'm going to be doing some pannier boxes. I'm repacking my muffler. I'm trying to renew my plastics and customize them a little bit. And then lastly, I'm going to be installing some new hoses. And I'm also going to be regrounding some of this, some of these wires. I've got some shoddy wire work from a couple electronics jobs that I've done over the past couple weeks, and a couple of them, the ground wires have snapped off from like they were just in a bad position, and when I turned the handlebars they snapped. So I'm gonna be tidying up all those wires, finding a better ground position for them, and yeah, I think that's about that. So this video is just going to be more of a little vlog, entertainment, just bringing you along for some bike work. I doubt that many of these issues, other than like the hoses, are going to be too useful for other people, but maybe. So I'm going to be taking my pannier rack off, going to be taking all my plastics off, seats. If you want a little rundown of all the bolts and everything that you need to take off, you can click to one of my other videos that I'm doing in this little series. I'll put a link to them in the description. But yeah, I think that's that. I'm doing the hoses, I'm doing the wires, and yeah, I'm gonna start dismantling. Let's go. I just finished installing my muffler again, and so I think the next thing I will move to is the wires and hoses. I doubt that this is going to be very instructional as far as my usual videos go, but I'll do the normal thing. So I'm going to be taking out these two 10 mil bolts, and then we'll be taking a look at what we need to do. Okay, so I have some 3/16 vacuum line, I think that is, and then I've got some 3/8 fuel line, I want to say. I forget the exact measurements, they'll be in the description. I forget the exact measurements of the fuel line, that is. I've got my clamps right here next to my simple green, and now I have to figure out which hoses I will be replacing. So it looks like there are two fuel lines coming from the carburetor here. One goes in the top, one goes just right over there, so those will be two short lines. I've got all these sort of breather lines running all over the bike. Not exactly sure where all those go. So yeah, I'll just be looking around, figuring things out, and I will let you know what I end up doing as I go. Let's do it. Alright, so this piece of line was the one connected to the bottom of the carb right there, and I think that went into the side of the petcock. And this is fuel line, and that line coming off of the top of the carburetor looks like it was vacuum line. And I would think that actuates the valve inside the petcock to let fuel in. So I'm going to cut a little line of fuel line this length, cut a line of vacuum this length, and get both of those put back in. So I ordered about 10 feet of this 3/8 fuel line, and I only ordered about 5 feet of this 3/16 vacuum line. And it only appears that I only need this for my fuel line. I only needed like 6 inches, 7 inches or something like that, but there is much more that needs vacuum line. So there's this one coming off the top of the carb. There is this breather line that runs down underneath the bike. There's this long one that goes all the way up through here, past my flasher relay, and it looks like it ends right there on top of the coolant tank. It's blurry right now, but it ends right down in there. And that appears to be a breather line as well. And then there's one more that runs from here. This is that one that was coming. Oh, wait. So this is the one that was coming off the battery. The battery's another one. And then this one runs. Where did this one go? This one went. Where did that one go? I can't remember. I will figure it out and let you guys know. But all that is to say that I should have ordered much more vacuum line, because there's much more of it on the bike. There's almost no fuel line. Also, there is a little line running from here to the coolant reservoir. I'm not going to change that. But yeah, I've only got a little bit more. I think I might have enough to do this really long one going up to the coolant reservoir as well. I don't know. I don't think I'll do that one though. I'll probably do the ones underneath the bike. And then maybe I'll order some more vacuum lines soon and just get the rest of the bike taken care of. So I'm gonna figure out which ones I'm doing. I'll let you know, and then we'll keep going from there. All right, so I did find another fuel line. This was the one that I could not find the other end of. It's that small breather line going down there. It gets fed up into this little hole and then attached to the gas tank. And I'm not exactly sure what function it serves. People call it breather valve or breather line. I'm not exactly, I mean, it should sound obvious, but I'm not sure why the gas tank would need to breathe, or the battery, or any of this other stuff. I'll figure it out in time. Give it a few years, I'll know why all this stuff breathes. But yeah, it's just fed down through there and ends up somewhere around there. The rest of the stuff is going to be vacuum line, I want to say. So I'll do as much as I can and then keep going. Okay, this might be the last line that I'm doing, but I'm doing this breather from the bottom of the airbox. Try to get it focused. Come on. It's behind that visible nub. See this nub right here, this little bit of light? There's another nub right behind that. That's where the breather comes off of, but it includes this part. I'm not exactly sure what it does. It just sort of like hangs off the bike. People have said that the bottom of this should not have a hole in it so that it like catches liquid. I don't really know. I don't know what this does. So I'm just going to clean it, get some new line on it, and get it back in. All right, so just a slight issue. The line that I bought, it's 3/16, and then the hole that I could not focus on, that second one right there, that's very wide. And I just looked at the original line and it is incredibly wide, and then it gets very narrow. So So I don't know if this is specialty or if they were just able to stretch it somehow, maybe with heat or something like that. But I did also see that this little thing popped out of this hose. So it was stopping the liquid, I guess, something like that. So I think I may just use my old hose for this and throw like a new clamp on or something like that. And maybe in a few months I'll look into seeing if that's a specialty hose or something like that. All right, onward. I think the last line that I'm going to change is this battery one right here, and that just runs down straight through that little bundle of lines that I've been working with. And the vacuum line did not fit around, and I don't think vacuum line would have been the right one for that, so I'm gonna just use my fuel line, get this piece of line out of here, cut the new one to length, and then get it put back on. And yeah, that'll be it for the lines. So that didn't fit entirely as intended. This line is about 3 inches down the fuel line, and it's pretty stuck. It's a lot of friction holding it in. It's not going any further, and it's not really coming back out too easily. My bike has this nice little notch right in this little piece that I'm guessing the previous owner cut because it looks handmade. And I can just tie a zip tie around there and secure the line. I don't know what originally held the line. I wonder if there was a battery cover that my bike is missing. I'm gonna look further into that. I'd like to redo all the electronics on this bike soon, and that'll include a battery because I want something big, high quality that I can plug a lot of auxiliary stuff into. I'd like to get a phone charger, all sorts of different stuff. So that's how that looks. It's fed down through that hole there and just down there. And yeah, I think now is the time that we move on to wiring, fixing up all this jank right up there. So let's do it. My phone is running pretty low on battery, so I may run inside to get a little charger, but I think I'm going to start this job by cutting all the zip ties that I used when I was installing my grip heaters, just so I can get all of the wires out and so I can see where they go. Am I going to do something with this throttle body as well? I moved its position from up here to down here last time because it was hitting the side of my front plastic. But they look pretty good. So I'm gonna leave those. I'm gonna cut all my zip ties and figure out what to do with all this. So here is what I'm working with. This is the one that snapped. That was coming from my blinker indicator light, and it is the negative end of a diode, and I just had it connected up to this nut right here going to ground. I also had, where is it? This one was coming off of my grip heaters. This one did not snap, so this one had enough room when the handlebars turned, but my diode one did not. So I think just for simplicity's sake, I am going to wire these two together and then find a suitable ground further down the bike. I've got a length of black wire that I can use to run all that over there. And I don't exactly know what I'm doing with all this mess yet, so we'll get that figured out. So I got most of this tidied up. I got most of those wires that used to be sitting right here all tangled up right here. This is my switch for the grip heaters. I think I may try taping it here or trying to stick it there some way, maybe super glue. I don't really want to use super glue on it, but I'll figure out some way to stick it here. There's no real good places to drill a hole on the first gen KLR to stick this through. So I'm gonna find a place for it, but that's way more tidy. Many of the wires that were going across the bars for the grip heaters are now tidied. They're going down these lines right here, and I've managed to get everything, including the blinker diode. The diode I soldered into the ground wire for the tusk heaters. That's right there. I've got everything narrowed down to these two wires here. These are the two ground wires for the grip heaters. And there is really no better place for them other than right in one of these nuts. And so what I think I will do is make sure that these have a lot of slack. I'll spin them together. I'll get them crimped into an eyelet. I forgot where I set it. And then I'm gonna put it right back where it was the first time, but this time much looser and much more secure, much more able to turn and move with the handlebars. Let's give it a shot. So I just turned my bike on and tested my wiring job, and my dashboard was flickering on and off depending on how much I was turning my handlebars. So unfortunately, I don't think I did it correctly. Probably the ground wire coming from the Tusk bar heaters is not a proper ground wire for the dashboard. That is what I am guessing, at least. I don't really know. And it's getting a little late. It's almost 6 o'clock. I've been out here a long time, and I'm getting kind of tired. So I think I might start packing up and resume this tomorrow. It sucks. All these jobs have been occupying me so long now. I think I'm gonna go inside, grab my plastics, and get them put on. Or am I? I don't think I am. I think I'm probably gonna go inside and resume tomorrow or something. Maybe not. Maybe I'll do one more thing, but for now, this sucks. Hey. All right, I am back outside. It is the next day, and I am getting back to these wires. I did my panniers today. Look at that. Did my exhaust yesterday. Did some of the plastics. Some of the plastics are on already. Got my rear fender. Look at that. Do a little customization. Love that. But today we are regrounding these wires, and I got some new wire, and so now I'm going to be able to extend this and this much farther. I was testing out some stuff with the multimeter, and I found that this is a suitable ground. So I think, and that's just connected to the airbox, so that's nice. It's not really integral. So I think that I am going to take that out, connect some of that black wire to, well, see, I've got the diode coming off of my blinker indicator. That's this wire right here, and it didn't seem to ground well when I connected it to these Tusk grip heater negative wires. So I think I'm gonna disconnect these two. I'll probably put some heat shrink over this Tusk grip heater wire just to keep it protected because it's exposed right here where I soldered them together. I'm gonna take some of that black wire to this diode, run it back, and I'm going to connect the two wires, the two ground wires coming off of my grip heaters, connect another wire, run them back. And I think I'm going to attempt, geez, these are falling all over the place. Should get a Ziploc bag for these, but I'm gonna attempt to use one of these eyelets. Maybe that yellow one right there might work. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do real quick, and I am hoping it will work. So I've got my grip heater wires connected to this one, and I've got this diode connected right there, and I am running out of battery in my little electronic battery unit thing, so my soldering iron isn't working as well. So I've got to charge that, and it's gonna take probably an hour or so. So I've only got a few things to do as far as this job goes. I've got to solder those connections, get the heat shrink over them, and then I am connecting them to this eyelet, and I'm going to put both of them in the same eyelet. I'm going to take this bolt out, get the eyelet down there, get them connected, and see how that works. But I can't do any of that until I've got that charged, so I'm going to pause with this. I'm going to clean up as much as I can, and then I think I might take my battery unit inside to charge, and then while that's going, work on this here front brake caliper. And I've got my new one sitting right there. And so I should be finished with that by the time that thing's done charging, and I think it's about 4:30 or 5 o'clock, maybe closer to 5:30. And so I should be back out here around 6:30 or 7, which would give me just enough time to get all of that finished up. So I'm gonna bring that inside and then get going on that brake. Okay, I got my grip heater switch just taped up here for now. I'm gonna figure out a more permanent solution for that soon, but I hid that little bundle of wires right behind here over the wiring harness. Looks much cleaner. I got my grip heater wires sort of fed along this throttle cable. Got them zip tied together right here. These are going along the choke cable, all zip tied down, and then they sort of meet up with that diode cable right here. And then I've got them both coming down and crimped onto an eyelet right here. Hopefully that does not come undone. I left a lot of slack, so there's not going to be too much tension on it. Screwed it into this bolt right here, and moment of truth, my gauge lights no longer flicker. Not only that, but my turn signal works. The indicator works, the turn signal works. Both directions work. They're not giving that like weird hazard thing that was going on when I first installed these LEDs. So that problem is fucking taken care of, and that is a great relief. I have been really held back, sort of intimidated by this job for a little while, but we got it taken care of. So yeah, I'm gonna find a more permanent thing for this. I may do super glue, I may not, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but we'll figure something out. I put my brake reservoir thing back on for now. This isn't the video for that though, so you guys don't really care. But yeah, we got that done, and I think that's about that. I'm gonna zip tie these wires to the frame, I think, alongside these throttle cables, and just, yeah, make sure that there's a decent amount of slack right there for them. I'll probably feed the slack right there next to my carburetor. It's been a long day though. I think that'll be that. I'm gonna get the zip ties on, show you guys, and that'll probably be the end of this video. All right, I got them nice and fastened down. I made sure to check to see which direction was the most taut for these wires, and so I just left a little bit of slack when they were the most taut. Got them zip tied there. I got them zip tied under this little rubber piece. That's where the tank sits. And then I zip tied them again here, just replacing the current zip tie. Made sure to include some of these cable looms as well. And then I zip tied it here, so that would go under this rubber piece too. And then we still got a decent amount of slack right there, so that's very nice. And I'm just hoping that the gas tank doesn't like sit sharply right there. I don't think it does, because it would have had like a rubber piece, but yeah. That's the job done, I think. The wires are now tidy. I can turn the handlebars as I like. And the hoses are installed, the new hoses. Got this one, that one, a couple around here. Yeah. Okay, I think before I go in for the night, I'm gonna torque down my axle right there, and that'll be that. Come out tomorrow, finish up my brake job, and finally I will be able to ride my bike again. It's been like 2 weeks almost, I think, since I've been able to take this thing out. But that's that. So thank you for watching if you watched, and I will see you in the next one. Please like, please subscribe. Bye-bye.